This past Thursday, we shared on TikTok and also Facebook Reels some summertime cool down phrases. Basically, just sharing them so that you can kind of memorize them and begin to use them themselves. But as always, if we really want to learn the language, it's important to fully know and comprehend every word that we are saying. And so let's dig deeper into those phrases here in this video so that we can better understand what we're saying and therefore really know the language ourselves. So the first phrase we learned in that video was Yahurabino unurutu. And so breaking this down word by word, the first word we see is Yahu. Yahu. That is a demonstrative. It can mean here, as in like right here, or it can also mean this. So combine that with the second word, Davino, which means day, then you get Yahurabino, which means this day, which essentially translates to today. So Yahurabino means today. Then we have that word unu. This is an intensifier. It can mean very, or it can mean something like really, very, or as we translate it here, really. And then finally, that last word, urut, which we've learned before, means hot. So now when we say this phrase, you can understand it word by word. Yahurabino unu urut means this day or today it is very hot, or it is really hot. Next, we learn the word or the phrase budainu, which means simply I'm thirsty. We have that first word budai, which means thirsty, and second nu, which is the first person singular pronoun I. So it's kind of, in a sense, you can say backwards, thirsty I, but it translates to I am thirsty. So in Paiute, there is no word for am, am, it's just I thirsty or thirsty I, which means I am thirsty. Now you can put the pronoun in front and you can say ne budai. That works perfectly fine as well. Next, we learn the phrase ba'ahiviku. So let's again better understand this phrase. That first word, ba'a, means water. Ba'a, water. Second is the word hiviku. So that root of this word is hivi, which means drink, hivi. And then that very end, you got that suffix, ku. That indicates something that is to occur potentially in the future at a later time, hiviku. So it can be translated as gonna, as in gonna drink, or it can be translated will, as in will drink. Put them together, ba'ahiviku means gonna drink water. Okay, gonna drink water. And obviously you see here that water comes before the verb in Numu, in Paiute, whereas in English it comes at the end. So that's just something that you'll have to learn and get used to. The second or the third phrase we learned was ba'udzutsudu ba'ahiviku. This is a much longer phrase. It means gonna drink cold water. Now, we already learned that phrase at the very end of the word hiviku, right? Hiviku means gonna drink or will drink. We also already learned that third word, ba'a, although previously we saw that it was spelled with a P. Ba'a. It changes here to a B, just because oftentimes that can happen, such as when it is not at the front of a phrase. So ba'a or ba'a with the P means water. But this first word is what's kind of long. Let's break it down, okay? This word, ba'udzutsudu. So the root of this word is right there in the middle, udzutsu, which means cold. Udzutsu, cold. At the beginning of it, ba is the prefix form of the word water. So this also refers to water. And that last two letters, du, is a nominalizer. It's kind of indicating a noun form or rather something like the characteristic of something in this case. Characteristic. So this is characterized as being cold water. So altogether, ba'udzutsudaba'a means cold water. So now you know the entire phrase, ba'udzutsudaba'a hivikwa means gonna drink cold water. Then we learn the phrase, ne pahabigakwa, which means I'm gonna go swim. We already learned that first word, ne, is the first person pronoun singular, meaning I. Okay, and this last word, bahabigakwa, there's a lot going on here. The first is bahabi. Bahabi means swim, bahabi. We can actually break that down further into water, lie down, or lie down on water. That's the etymology of this word, but essentially it means swim, okay, bahabi. Then there's in the middle that G-double-A, ga, which indicates movement away, or you're going away somewhere. In this case, it means gonna go somewhere, or rather going away somewhere to swim. Go away to swim. Ga, bahabi ga, going away somewhere to swim. And the final suffix, kwu, kwu, we already learned previously, indicates something that is to happen later on, potentially in the future. So it means gonna or will. So bahabigakwa, gonna go away somewhere to swim, or will go away somewhere to swim. Then the second to last phrase we learned was ne pahapi. Again, we already know this word, ne, which means I. The second word, bahapi. We also previously learned that means to swim. Now, if you recall previously, that second P toward the end, we spelled it with a B. Again, that's just because of different phonological reasons that it's spelled with the B previously, usually when it is followed by a suffix. In this case, it is not followed by a suffix, and so it has that strong P sound. Technically, this is what's known as the durative form. It indicates action in progress. So bahapi means that the act of swimming is in progress. You are currently swimming, or in this case, ne pahapi, I am swimming. You can also simply translate this as I swim. Finally, the last phrase we learned was nevawe nahunami, which means I am floating on water. Again, we already know ne means I, okay? I. Second, that word bawe, that means on the water. So ba is again indicating water. Ba, neba, I water something. What is next? That suffix we, W-A-E. We indicates on or in. It is a locative indicating the location of something. So in this case, ba we means either in or on the water. We don't know until we see the second word to know for sure. The third word. That third word is nahunami. So the root of this word is nahu, which means float. Nahu, float. And so obviously you can't float in water, therefore that has to mean you're floating on water. So bawe means on the water here in this context, floating on the water. And that last suffix that you see there, numi, can indicate something that has just kind of happened randomly. It's happening randomly. You're just kind of floating around kind of randomly. It can also indicate the state of something, a state of being. So you're just kind of in this state of floating. You're just floating around on the water. Nubawe nahunmi. And so now I hope you better understand these phrases. Now when you repeat them, they should no longer just be random sounds put together that have no meaning to you. You just memorize them and you're regurgitating them. Rather, you understand every single word and their meaning. And that, again, is important for becoming a fluent speaker yourself. So thank you for listening. Until next time, Matnusaba. That is all.